and welcome to Mercy's Path again. Cool. Yeah. So, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope God is blessing you, and I hope you're getting closer to God and just putting Him at the center of your life. Look what I grew. If you are listening and not watching, I grew a pumpkin, and it is the perfect size for a cute little to be a cute little decoration. I grew this. Isn't it so perfect? I mean, I know it's got some scarring a little bit, but yeah, isn't it cute? I grew a pumpkin. I mean, I grow pumpkins every year, but I've never had one this perfect. Like, it's beautiful. It's a little bit of green, a little bit of orange. It's solid. It's solid. Oh, I just made the dog bark downstairs. Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to show you my pumpkin. My garden is doing well. I've got some corn, some tomatoes, some peas. I've got my pepper plant didn't really flower or produce. Lots of dill, lots of poppies, but the poppies have died now. Lots of flowers. Sunflowers are huge. The bumblebees have really been enjoying them. I just love gardening. I wish gardening could be a job. And then all day, every day, I just have to weed the garden and take care of the garden, somebody hire me to just be a gardener. Just joking. I like my job where I am. Yeah, so welcome. Thank you. The last episode was okay. I'm getting it from all sides, guys. And I don't love it. You guys are some people are mean. And if the same people who watched the last one because of who I talked about watch this one, I just want you to know that I'm on your side. Literally, I say, hey, Nick Fuentes ain't that bad. And then all of the people who love him are like, you're a woman, shut up. And I just got to get this out of the way. If you came here because you're mad I'm talking about Nick Fuentes, if you think that I'm terrible and whatever, I need you to hear this voicemail that I received after talking to him last week. I need you to hear this voicemail, okay?
You have no new messages and one saved message. To play your messages, press 1. To record saved message 10:04.
I'm in love with you. And now I'm chilling.
To replay this message, press 1. To go to the previous
So there you have it. I didn't even really know how to respond to that. He's very great. And I just wanted you to hear that so that you can know that it's you don't have to be mean to me, because guess what? And I love you too, Nick. You're a sweet, nice young man. I watched a few episodes, live shows last week, because you know how I am. I hyper focus. When I find someone that I find is interesting, I hyper focus. So I'm hyper focused right now. I've been watching a lot of Nick Fuentes videos, and yeah, I don't know what to really say other than I am sorry for being a woman. Anyways, we're gonna go over some comments from last time, actually from the time before too, because we didn't really talk about those. But yeah, so comments. Somebody told me get married. I told you, that's my goal in life. Obviously, that's not to be anti whatever, but I feel like your goal is to have a family and to serve the Lord. But that could just be me. The modern day Christianity is a joke. Rude. Okay. But then, Magnus Galactus in there defending me. Jesus' teachings helps millions live a better life. What do you do? That was so cool. Thank you for saying that. I didn't realize that I was going to, I thought that because of all of I guess I didn't think that the people who follow him were who they are. And, that's okay. I'm not hating. I love everybody. I love you guys. I'm sorry that you don't like me. I'm sorry that I talked about your boy like that, even though I was being nice. Because I don't have anything really mean to say about anybody. I don't play that game. I'm not trying to be, oops. I'm on my own YouTube channel trying to find comments. I should have had this queued up before, but you know how I work. Everything is just flying by the seat of my pants. Seat of my pants? Does that mean flying by your butt? Anyways, so on number 29, 2 episodes ago, Magnus Galactus OG, thank you for being here. He said this new intro is so cool. Thank you. Yeah, I changed it up. And then also said, if only I could tell you how many things we have exact in common and how it tells me that God wants me to listen to you, but I can't say in public. God bless you and thank you for all the years of inspiration. That was just such kind words. And again, I know I don't have a huge following. I know not a lot of people listen to these, but the people that do, it's important to them. And I like doing it. So I'm going to continue to do it, even though all these people are mean. And then somebody else, so what does that say? E dot hip hop. Maybe that's Edmonton. E dot hip hop says Nick Fuentes keyword made this pop up. You should do more content about him. Well, it's your lucky day because I have a lot to say since my hyperfixation has been on him all week since I did my last episode. And then somebody else said, get this off my feed. That's kind. And I said, commenting won't help that, sir. And then somebody else said, LMAO, you see a video you don't want your algorithm recommending, so you click on it and comment. Retarded. That's what I said, but not so. I was trying to be respectful. And then this other person said, my YouTube gave me your video because of the word Nick Fuentes. I think you're a nice girl and you were great to listen to. I was worried about Candace for a while and then she attacked Nick and I unsubscribed from her. I've prayed for you and your life and your channel. God bless you. Love, Mike Winger. Also, I have 4,700 videos on Christianity and often interview people from heaven and have about 50 books with the interviews. You can interview me if you like. Now, I don't want to offend you, sir, but I don't really subscribe to the idea of talking to dead people. And now, granted, if somebody dies and goes to heaven, they're alive, because Jesus grants us eternal life in heaven with him. But
afterthought during edit, if someone goes to heaven, they are hanging with God. Why would they want to come and talk to you? They escaped Earth. They are worshiping Jesus and chilling. No way they are thinking, wow, I really wish I could talk to people on Earth again.
I don't think you can talk to, that's the whole idea of there's one mediator between God and man, and that is Jesus Christ. So I don't know, I guess what's the purpose of talking to these people in heaven? What's the purpose? What is different about talking to people in heaven and talking to spirits of the dead? What is different from talking to people in heaven and talking to people as a witch? I don't really. Anyway, just be careful, sir. I hope that you don't get into any spiritual trouble like that. Just guard your heart. Above all things, guard your heart and put on the armor of God, Yeah, so I just, I did not expect to be so callously attacked for agreeing with someone. I thought that I would get the opposite. I expected people to be mad that I was even talking about him, but that didn't even really happen. It was more people who like him were like, get his name out your mouth. If you're going to say his name, put some respect on it. Yeah. So that was interesting. And yeah, this person, okay. This person so callously accused me, said, oh, they said that, oh, you're a single mom. And so you probably, left your husband because you weren't happy and you blah, blah, blah. But first of all, never been married. Okay. Second of all, I wish I could meet more people like this, but I have always been of the opinion that if you are with someone, you should be with them forever. Okay. Now that is why I've ended up in some really awful relationships in my life. And just to backstory to this guy, I don't know why I even felt the need to explain myself on X, but I did. The first relationship I ever had was 6 years of abuse, of, being backhand. Like I have a little like weird gap in my teeth because he swung his hand back and his watch like to hit me, and his watch hit me in the teeth, and that knocked a little bit of my teeth out. And so then, that was the first person I was ever with. And so I was like, this will be forever. And then every time something bad happened, I was just like, well, no, like I can't, go anywhere because like, I've always, even though I didn't like know God, like really, really follow God, understand God back then, I've always had the heart to be like, you're with one person for forever, for your whole life. And when that didn't work that time, and then that was my teenage relationship. My whole teenage years was in that relationship. And then the next one I went into, again, like, and this is why you don't have, you should be celibate. You should not be with someone sexually until you know them well, until you're married, unless you're going to dedicate your entire life to them. And so after this teenage relationship, the next relationship all through my 20s was, there's a lot of infidelity, and not on my part. And then I ended up, pregnant, had my daughter, which again, blessing. So I'm not saying that I wish it never happened, but we weren't married, we lived together, and it didn't go well because, again, it wasn't a godly formed relationship. It was like me being like I was vulnerable, fresh out of my 6-year-long teenage relationship, and this person just kind of pounced on me. And apparently he was kind of known for that. And I was warned about that, but I still just was like, well, I need love and attention, and this must be the one, and I would do that little thing where you have an apple and you twist the thing off until the letter, yeah. So, so you have an apple, right? And then there's like the stem, like, I'm not going to do it to this pumpkin, but if I had the apple, then you hold on to this and you twist the apple, and it'll twist until, until the letter, you twist it until the stem comes off, and whatever. So you're like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. And when it broke off at J, I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be with this person. Okay, it's not bad. But then it was really bad. And I knew it from the beginning. Like, there was this situation where, again, like I hadn't been with really anyone except for my like first boyfriend. And so when I got with this guy, it's just like the culture, you drink, right? Don't drink ever. Like, I've been sober now for 6 years. And when I see the mistakes people still make on alcohol, even though there's all this information out there, even though they've made all these mistakes before, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And so anyways, yeah, alcohol was involved. And then, you become intimate with someone too soon, right? And, again, I had this like naive, like childlike mind where it was like, well, if I'm with this person now, I'm with them forever. And so despite, constant infidelity, I lost one of my best friends from North Battleford because, she chose to, get with my boyfriend instead of be my friend. So that's nice. That's nice. And yet, despite all that, I stayed with this person because we were having a child together. And we had the child together, and it still didn't work. It doesn't. Sometimes people cheat on you constantly because they're looking for something, and it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. They are chasing something that they can't find. Now it's like, okay, I'm turning away from everything. I'm going for God. And it's like, these people are accusing me of, oh, you had a kid and then you took him for everything he's worth, and you left him because of this and this. And it's like, well, no, it's actually so much more complicated than that. Like, I couldn't get him to just want to be with me. And like, it's sad, but at the same time, a lot of good has come out of, me raising my daughter by myself. So, she's a really good kid. Like, she's on the missions team. She's a junior youth leader. Oh, also, news. I am now a volleyball coach. I shouldn't, say it like this because I should be happy and I should be, I should be excited about it. But it's like I already am so busy with church, with junior youth, with work, my real job, and writing music. Like, I have a show coming up, by the way. September 20th, I'm doing a show out at the Legion in Vermilion. So come on out. I'm going to be playing a bunch of new songs I've written lately that I really need to record. So I'm just playing with my plant, my spider plant. Look at all these babies. If you want any spider plant babies, like, come get them. Don't come get them. I'll bring them to you. But, yeah. What were we talking about? I feel like I'm off the rails today. Yeah, I'm a volleyball coach now, and that's just what it is. I did the first round of tryouts. So, you're trying to evaluate girls to put on your team, but I'm the white team, so it goes gold, green, white. So if I see some really good players, I'm like, well, I'm not going to get those. They're going to go to gold. Other really good players, they're going to go to green, and then I'm going to get, everyone else. But my daughter's on my team, and it's really sad because there's 94 girls trying out, and yeah, there's only 3 teams. So out of 94 girls, only about 36 girls get to actually play, and that's just sad. Like, it's really sad. And so I just thought, my daughter wouldn't have played last year unless there's a 3rd team made. So I'm going to be the 3rd team this year. And so her coach from last year is doing the green. So it's good. It's going to be fun. I love volleyball. Like, I played volleyball as an adult for 10 years in a co-ed league, and that was really fun. So, I know the sport. I've never had to coach kids. But then in the same breath, for 3 years, I've been, leading youth groups or helping lead youth groups at church. So I feel like if I just translate it'll be good. It'll be good. I think that I am a very good encourager, and I think that our positive attitude will help us, win and do well. So we'll see what happens. But yeah. So. And also, junior youth starts tonight. Like, it's my first night as junior youth pastor. And that's another thing about all the Nick Fuentes people. Like, they're like, you can't be a pastor. You can't be speaking at church. You can't be. But I'm going to tell you something, and it kind of goes even against myself. But, like, the thing about women speaking in church, I just killed a mosquito. There. Gross. Get out of here, mosquito. I'm sorry, mosquito. He fell on his back now and he's dead, and he just looks like, honestly, kind of sad. Anyways, yes, I know all the verses in the Bible. Listen, I studied this hard. When I was going to Bible school, I was like studying hard about, like, should I even be a preacher? Lord, like, let me know. Lord, if this isn't for me. Like, and I didn't want to be a preacher. I just wanted to be able to confidently lead youth and teach them Bible stuff good, so basically I studied the heck out of whether or not I should even do it. And a lot of conclusions, like, a lot of the reason I did do it is because we just don't have any men that are stepping up in my church that will do it, that want to do it, that have that heart of David, that want to serve God. At least none that I've met or talked to so far. So, the reason I wanted to do it is because there's just nobody else, and when the youth pastor that was supposed to be died, yeah, it was like, somebody's got to do this, right? And so, I just wanted to be, as much as I was just helping out, I just wanted to be better at it by going to school for it and stuff. And so, when they told me, oh, you can become a pastor, I was conflicted internally and like, God, like, is this really what I should do? And there's so many Bible verses that contradict the idea of women not being able to teach. Now, do I think that I should have personal spiritual authority over one man, like that a man should come to me for counseling, that I should be able to spiritually guide a man? No, I don't think that I can do that, and I don't think I should do that. Like, that's the opposite sex. He should be, dealing with other men. I would gladly help women and stuff like that. But when it comes to sharing, just sharing the word of God at a Sunday service, I think that is great. Like, there's a lot of women speaking to crowds, right? In the Bible, lots of them are leading, lots of them are doing this and that. So yeah, I agree that I shouldn't have spiritual authority over a man, but can I share to a group of people? Yes, I can. And anyways, there's all these, I know that it's tricky and I've looked everywhere I've looked at both sides of this, both arguments of this, whether it's egalitarian or complementarian. And I kept saying, like, God, if I'm not supposed to do this, you stop me. You stop me in my tracks. And, he didn't. And there are things that I've been like, God, if I'm not supposed to do this, you show me. And he shows me big, he's like, like puts up an X. And I'm like, yo, okay. So anyways, all these, people talking about, you can't do this, you're not supposed to do this, you're supposed to just whatever, cook and clean and but it's like, listen, I have, just stop. Like, that's the thing about, like, people want to create a better world, and I'm for that. I agree with, like, so many of the points of this idea of the better world, where people are living according to God's rules, according to Christian values. I'm 100% with that. But if you're gonna, just be mean to me because I'm a girl, then I have a problem, because, and I get it. There are a lot of women out there who seduce and manipulate and trick and steal. And I wish they didn't do that. I don't want them to do that. If anything, I want to lead them towards Christ, because the closer you get to God, the further you get away from wanting to be a bad person. Like, you just have to really dive in with Jesus and, give him your heart. I say all the time, like, I lift my life up to you, Lord. Just use me how you want. Make me do what you want me to do. I don't want to do what I want to do. I want to do what you want me to do. And I want that to help people. Because that's why this podcast is called Mercy's Path. Like, I was in a pit of hell. I was living in hell, in my own, with my own doing, my own actions. I'm accountable for all of it. Granted, some bad stuff happened to me from people who shouldn't have done that, but I put myself in those situations. I was chasing things and, pursuing things that were not of God, that it was sin. I was pursuing sin. So, I just wish everybody would just pursue holiness, because we would all be better off, We would all be good, we would all be fine, we would all be happy. Let's all go for Jesus today. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. And that's okay. So again, just leaning back into this hyperfixation. Nick Fuentes is not who you think he is. I thought I had an idea of who he was. Like, I thought, oh, he's super mean and he talks a lot of crap and he, whatever. But he's actually, like, I knew of some of his opinions before. I've seen clips of him before. But now that I've really, like, dived deep, I'm like, dude, this guy is legit. Like, he's good, He does swear a lot, and I really don't like that. And he's pretty mean to people. But it surprised me. Like, he reads all these things when he's on his show, and this person said, I can't believe this school shooter that's so evil. I won't even pray for him. And Nick Fuentes was like, that's not the point of, like, that's not why, Christ died. He died, if you're not going to pray for this guy, then should God pray for you, basically. And it was like, that's a solid thing. Like he's not hateful. He just swears a lot and he's kind of mean and he calls people idiots a lot, and that's not very nice. But he was actually, somebody tried to kill him last year. Somebody went to his house, and, I was kind of reading about it, and from the left side, like the liberal side, they're like, oh, he faked it, it's fake, blah, blah, blah. But then when you actually look into it, the guy that tried to kill him just killed 3 people and drove straight to his house after. Like, I feel like he was trying to go down in like a blaze of glory, like his life was kind of falling apart. And then he thought, okay, well, I'll kill this guy that hurt my feelings, that used to be my friend. And yeah, he killed his friend and his mom and his sister, shot them all, and then he drove 2 hours to Nick Fuentes' house and was like knocking on his door with a gun in his hand. And like, you'd think he'd be a little bit more secretive about it. I do see why the left thought it was fake, because who knocks on someone's door with a gun in their hand? Like, that seems a little bit like, what are you doing? You're gonna get, like, obviously he's not gonna answer the door. You don't think a guy like that has a doorbell camera? You don't think a guy whose address was leaked on the internet and is like known for, for he's being represented as a hateful white supremacist person. You don't think the guy like that has a doorbell camera? You think he's going to just answer the door? You think he's going to answer his own door, for that matter? He probably makes, money or something, and then he has like, go get the doors guy, like, that works for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so anyway, I do see why the left thought it was fake, because if you just see that doorbell camera video and you're like, okay, like, guy in a helmet, with a gun in his hand and a crossbow, like, that seems so ridiculous. Why would you be so brazen to go up to the door like that? Like, why wouldn't you conceal it, right? Why wouldn't you have a pizza box, like the mafia movies, where you have a pizza box in your hand and then you open the pizza and it's like, like, come on, like, that would be the smart way to try to, anyways. So I get it, but when you read the whole story about like him killing all these other people, and then like and then he killed some dogs after he ran away, it was a whole thing. It was sad. And anyways, I feel like that's just crazy. Yeah. And then I was watching, dude plays video games, plays Civ 5. I couldn't believe that when I heard that. Like, bro.
Seems like my brain stopped working here and I didn't really articulate my thoughts. But Nick playing Civ makes him cool, TBH, he's a real one.
That's like, everyone I talk to, when somebody's like, oh, you play video games? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, what do you play? I'm like, well, Fortnite and Civilization. And they're like, ugh, Civilization, that's so lame. And I'm like, Civilization, specifically 5. I did buy 6, or did I buy 7? I don't love it. I still play 5. I love that game. And so then he just gets more and more relatable the more I watch. And that's fun. But like, Civ 5 just gave me like, because I haven't played it in a while, because I try not to play it super often because I can't stop. Like, it's a problem. One of the best times of my life was like 2 years ago when my brother lived with me, or was it, yeah, 1 year ago. My brother was living with me for like 2 months, 3 months, and because he was working at the Upgrader here in Lloyd. And every day I went home and I waited for him to come home, because he was always home later than me, because he was off work way later. And I would wait for him to come home, and then we'd sit around and eat supper and stuff. And then I would just wait for him to be like, just go to. And then we would play Civilization till like 2, 3 in the morning every night for like months. And it was a war going on, man. Like, if you've ever played Civ, once you get like further and further into it, one turn can take like 20 minutes, half hour, because the strategy is so intense and you really have to think ahead, and it's just so fun. And anyway, so he was Canada, I was Canada and he was Pound Maker. So it's like Pound Maker is obviously in Canada. It's like near here somewhere. So it was like, the natives versus like white Canada, Wilfrid Laurier. So it was just funny. But we played it a lot, and we never did finish the game. Like, the game is still saved. And then, anyways, so then he came to my house. So then, yeah, he like moved back home and is going back to law school and stuff. And this summer, he came to visit me again, and he stayed overnight. And then in the morning, he's like, you want to play? I was like, yeah. So we picked up our game from last year, and he was here till 6:00. We played it for like 9 hours. Didn't even blink. Didn't stand up. I did make like some food for us at some point, while it's his turn, because again, at this point in the game, his turns are taking like 25 minutes. And so I had time to get up and make food and cook food and like make us dinner. And then we ate while we just continued to play. And then finally he's like, oh my gosh, it's 6:00. I gotta go. I was like, okay, pick it up next time. Like, I just love playing Civilization with him. Oh, my collarbone did crack this time. Last time I couldn't get it to crack. But yeah, I love Civilization, but it consumes me. Like, once I start playing, I'm just like, one more turn. I love that game. And I've won via religion. I've won via culture. I've won via, what's the one where you got to take over, not destruction, but like domination. I had a domination victory once. And yeah, there's four. There's 4 ways to win. Oh, science. I won via science too. I did the space race. I went to the moon. Yeah, right. Anyways, but yeah, I just love Civilization. And now I'm scared that since I heard it mentioned, I'm probably going to play it again. I've actually been really, really consumed by Lego Fortnite. I do love Fortnite. Like, I play Zero Build with a couple of friends. Like, we were playing like every night for like 2 weeks. And then when they wouldn't be online, and then I would play by myself. And like, once you've played with friends lots and you're voice chatting and it's fun, going back to playing just by yourself, like solos, is like kind of, it just doesn't have like the same, like, I guess dopamine rush probably is what it is, which is not a great thing to be chasing. But yeah, that is like my weakness in life, is I will spend way too much time playing video games. But anyway, so we were playing for like 2 weeks straight, every night, doing squads, doing trios, depending on how many of us there were. And then the other, like, they weren't playing, and I played a couple solo matches and I won, and I was like, well, this is boring. Like, cause I can win pretty good when I'm playing by myself, but when I'm with them, it's like, I can't leave them behind. I gotta get their reboot card. I gotta heal them. And then you always die cause you're trying to save your homies. And so anyways, actually they have a new airstrike, and I did an airstrike on people last night, and I killed a whole duo. With the airstrike. It was like, I had never used it before. I was like, woof, that was pretty sick. Anyways, when they weren't around, I started playing Lego, and I knew I shouldn't. Again, I know myself, and I built 3 towns. I built so many houses. I got so many characters in my village. They're all working for me. They're all collecting stuff and processing metal and growing food. They're just keeping us alive, and then I'm thinking, like, I wish real life was like this. I wish it was just a spirit of cooperation. I build you a couple houses. You go smelt the metal. You go do the garden. You go process wood. You go refine stone, and you go over there and create textiles like wool and thread, so that I can make carpets and put pictures on the wall and stuff like that. And it just made me think, like, this is kind of the utopia that I'm looking for, is like Lego Fortnite. Like, you build a town, you build a house, and people wander up and say, hey. And then you're like, hey, do you want to live in my village? And they're like, oh, do you have a bed for me? And you're like, yeah. Like, okay. Oh, I need to make this. Okay, well, I'll be right back. I got to go to the cave and get some bright core so we can have some lights. Like, Anyways, I've been playing a lot of Fortnite, Lego Fortnite. I just love building things. I did like The Sims. I used to really love The Sims, but then they came out with all the LGBTQ where you can change the gender and you can change and then I don't so I still kind of played it a little bit. I was like, this is fine. I can get over this. But then one day, because I would always make a house of like 4 women. So one goes to work, one cooks and like cleans, one, and the reason it was women is because I just didn't want any complications of like romance, right? So I'd always have 4 women and one would do the acting job. So then I would have fun and go and do the acting job. And then anyways, I would have 4 women. They'd be doing all these different things to keep like this household running, right? But then once they came out with like the update for like the gay stuff, all of a sudden the women were trying to like get with each other and flirting with each other, and that wouldn't happen before in The Sims, and I just did not like that. I was like, why are they trying to flirt with each other and sleep with each other? Like, that's the reason I don't have a man in this house, because then people get all jealous and like all this stuff, and I just anyway, so I don't play Sims anymore because and then you have a kid. If you do have a family and you get a guy and you have a kid, and then it turns out, and then it's like your son has come out as gay, and you're like, well, get out. And then you anyways, I shouldn't say what I do when that happens because it sounds really rude, and somebody's gonna like clip this and think that I do it in real life. It's not true. It's like, anyways. But then everybody gets sad, and then you're like, oh, why are you all moping around? Like, get to work. Get your moodlets up. Get in a good mood. Go paint. Anyways. Yeah, so, yeah. The other game that I'm obsessed with, and I think I talked about this before, is Roller Coaster Tycoon. I have it on my phone, and I should have never gotten it on my phone. But again, I haven't played it in a couple weeks. A little while or a couple weeks. Pick one. Don't say them both. Yeah. Roller Coaster Tycoon is like the best game ever. Yeah. But like I'm kind of too good at it, and it's becoming boring. Like, I think I'm in like there's like all these ruby, emerald, sapphire, pearl things that you got to get through, and I'm just like crushing them. There's one that I can't do though, that you have to like finish an already half-built roller coaster around a landscape. I don't like that. I want to create my own roller coaster. I don't want to pick up and clean up and build on someone else's mess. So I'm having a hard time with that one, but yeah, I'm just really good at it. It's like, oh, you have to have, 1,200 guests by year 3, and every single time I'll have 2,000 guests by year 3. I'll have 1,200 guests by 1.5 years, usually. Like, I'm just so good at it. Like, when you play it all the time and you know what people want, and you know how to like put certain things beside each other so that you make more money, it's actually quite crazy. Like, if I worked for a theme park, I could literally probably go to Disneyland and be like, yo, I know what am I saying? They have professionals for that, I'm sure. But if you're a beginner and you need to build a theme park and you don't want to pay someone a bunch of money to do it, I'll do it for free. I'll give you all the tips and tricks and how it worked. I mean, I'm sure people in real life probably don't work the same as in an old computer game built for my phone. But who knows? What else did I want to talk about today? Yeah. I wrote this down and I don't even want to talk about it, but I'm just going to say it. It is so gross. And if you're a guy, just take note of this. But it is so gross when you're a guy and you're talking to someone and you have your hand in your pocket and you're like moving your hand around. Everybody knows what you're doing. And it's disgusting. Please stop. This is a public service announcement. I don't want that in my life. Okay? Like, imagine I just stood there and was like touching myself. Like, what the heck? Why do guys think they can get away with it? Everybody knows what you're doing. My mom used to call sweatpants pervert pants. And I think that's probably why. I get it now, Mom. I love you. it's just the world is so goofy right now. And, because so many people are brainwashed, it's like you can't, like, I just want to talk to people and be like, hey, do you know who Nick Fuentes is? And if they are like, he's a if they do that, it's like a litmus test. If you say that name around people, they're either going to be like, who's that? Or they're going to be like, he's the worst. And then if they say that, then they've obviously, that they just listen to everything they hear and they don't like investigate it. And then if they kind of side eye you, they're like, why are you asking? And then they might be a secret groiper. Apparently that's his followers, is groipers, like a frog. I didn't know that. I thought that came from QAnon. Was he part of QAnon? I have so much. Okay, so the Groypers, sometimes called the Groyper Army, are a group of alt-right white nationalist and Christian nationalist activists led by Nick Fuentes. Okay. I just want to know how they became frogs. Like, what is that even about? A variant of the internet meme Pepe the Frog. Groyper is depicted as a rotund, green, frog-like creature, often sitting with its chin resting on interlocked fingers. There is some disagreement about the details. Groyper is variously said to be a depiction of Pepe. I do know Pepe. I have a bunch of Pepe coin. I don't know why. I was like, when it was like, crypto time. Oh, sorry. I'm yawning because I'm tired a little bit. I don't know. I lost some energy suddenly. I need a coffee. Yeah. What were we talking about? This is probably painful to watch. I'm sorry. Or listen to. Who knows? Well, let's just flip open our Bible here and see what God wants to say to us today. Dun 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 dun. Okay, there is a time for everything. Ecclesiastes chapter 3. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them. A time to embrace and a time to refrain, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. What does the worker gain from his toil? I have seen the burden God has laid on men. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the hearts of men, yet they cannot fathom what God has done from beginning to end. I know that there is nothing better for men than to be happy and do good while they live, that everyone may eat and drink and find satisfaction in all his toil. This is the gift of God. I know that everything God does will endure forever. Nothing can be added to it and nothing taken from it. God does it so that men will revere him. Whatever has already been and what will be has been before, and God will call the past to account. And I saw something else under the sun. In the place of judgment, wickedness was there. In the place of justice, wickedness was there. I thought in my heart, God will bring to judgment both the righteous and the wicked, and there will be a time for every activity, a time for every deed. I also thought, as for men, God tests them so that they may see that they are like the animals. Man's fate is like that of the animals. The same fate awaits them both. As one dies, so does the other. All have the same breath. Man has no advantage over the animal. Everything is meaningless. All go to the same place. All come from dust, and to dust returns. Who knows if the spirit of man rises upward and if the spirit of the animal goes down to the earth? So I saw there is nothing better for a man than to enjoy his work, because that is his lot. For who can bring him to see what will happen after him? That's a good one. Ecclesiastes is so... Yeah, I love this part. I know that there is nothing better for men than to be happy and do good while they live. Be happy and do good while you live, people. Okay? Just do the best that you can. I just don't think that there's, and that's why I do love watching this person. I love watching this man. I love the way he talks. I love his mannerisms, and I love the way he kind of, just goes about being himself. He's just so real, and like you just don't see that a lot. It's just like I don't really care about the stuff he talks about that much, because again, it's America, and I'm not in America. I'm in Canada, where things are much worse. But if I was going to worry about it every day, it's a lot. And, recently that whole Canada First party led by the self-proclaimed Queen of Canada, they were raided, actually. So, were they Canada First? I can't remember. I thought they were. Yeah, Canada First. The Canada First Party of Canada. They had this self-proclaimed Queen of Canada, and they were doing all these things, declaring their sovereignty, saying they didn't have to repay debt because like banks are fake and loans are fake and all this kind of stuff. And as much as I've dived into that realm, there's really no way to enforce it. As much as it's real on paper, in the courts, they don't care. They just call you a conspiracy theorist. They say this isn't real. There's this whole idea of maritime law and how, we don't live by maritime law. It's just crazy. Like, we live by God's law, not by maritime law. And it's just... Anyways, they were... It's just sad because I know that there was a lot of people with her, and because of everything that happened from 2020 to 2023, it's like the whole world lost the trust for the authority, right? They're all they don't trust anybody, and so the consequences of that is a lot of people went too far the wrong way. And ended up calling this Filipino lady the Queen of Canada. It's actually really crazy. Like, if you, I get it. Like, as much as people call her crazy and a conspiracy theorist and all this crazy stuff, she is right about a lot of things. It's just you can't really get away with anything in Canada. Like, there's certain things that I cannot talk about. There's a law about it. You're not allowed to deny certain historical events. You're not allowed, and not deny them, but you're not even allowed to question them. You're not allowed to say, like, hey, I don't think this happened the way that it did. Because if you do, it's considered a hate crime and you go to jail. And so I don't want to go to jail, man. So there's certain things that I just... And then I thought, well, what if I do that thing where you can only make your videos viewable in the United States? But am I still doing it on Canadian grounds? Could I say that I was doing it in the United States? But then how could I prove that I was if I'm not actually going to go there? I don't think I can. I don't think I can, guys. And so I guess the gist of everything is I love you guys, and God loves you, and so yeah, there you have it. I guess that's all I really wanted to talk about today. Yeah, I gotta go back to work now. Doing this on my lunch break. That's the blue collar life for me. Oh, I am wearing blue too. Blue collar. These shoulders are puffy though. Like, what is that? I don't like that. But I do like this dress. It's very modest. I try to always wear like really cute modesty clothes to show people that, hey, you don't have to dress yucky. You don't have to cause your brothers to stumble to be cute. You can just cover up and not, anyways, that's a whole nother rabbit hole we can go down someday, but not to body shame, but like put it away. Everybody knows what you're doing. I'm sick of, anyways, we're not going to go there today. We're going to pray. Dear Jesus, thank you for today. Thank you for what you've done in my life. Thank you for what you will do for everyone else. Thank you for what you're capable of. You're so powerful and amazing, and I just am so glad that you found me and took me and changed me. And I just pray for everyone struggling with anything, just help them with it. Lord, give them the courage, give them the voice to scream out, help me, Jesus, help me, God. I need you, God, I need you. Because, you do help and you do bless, and to a, truly repentant heart, to the people who have reverence for you, God, you are so good. And I mean, you're good to everyone. You're good to those who even deny you. And you're just such a loving, amazing God. And I just can't get enough of you. And I love you so much. In Jesus' name, amen. Have a beautiful day. And sorry if this was kind of random and wild, but I got a lot of thoughts and I like to get them out there, but then I'm like, ooh, bring those back. Bring those back. No, it's okay that it's out there. But okay, have a beautiful time, and I pray the best for you.